you're going to win.
Yeah, and I think the picks and bans is something I'm incredibly looking forward to seeing because it's going to be important there to direct. In fact, here, right on cue, we're going to have Cooler banning out Keel. Rapha is going to ban out Visor, in fact. So I think that
interesting.
Both the players have actually been using Death Knight a lot. Both are very, very strong in it. I'd say, respectively, in their own regions, the best Death Knight players.
Well, that makes it even more interesting in this is the fact that Rapha said his best champion is Visor. So he even takes it away from himself because he has that much respect for Cooler's Visor.
And as we've seen so many times over the course of the tournament, Cooler has a habit or a general strategy of making a frag and then going into deep hiding, not going maybe passive. I'm not sure I would use the word there, but strategic, and really trying to sandbag. And Rapha himself has banned Visor, which means there's no opportunity to, track him down very quickly if Cooler wants to go into hiding. At the same time, Cooler banning Keel. We've seen a lot of Keel in the tournament, and I'm a big fan of Keel, but I wouldn't be the one to say that Keel has been a game changer for anybody this weekend.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we heard Rapha talk earlier on against his match versus Claus, and he said he just wanted to play Mirror versus Claus. He didn't really care about bringing out the Keel, because we asked him specifically, why not use Keel, since you talked about it so much.
I think Razy's the best Keel player we've seen so far, but we obviously eventually know what happened to him. Although he made an impact with it, he's obviously not a champion that's lived through.
Not like his clutch. Definitely not like his clutch.
Well, he beat Cypher with clutch and without. So
it's true. It's true.
But either way, in the end, I feel like Cooler banned a champion that I don't think Rapha relies on.
Yeah, I agree.
And Rapha banned a champion that he might need to counter Cooler.
Maybe, I mean, the thing is, Cooler could have banned away Death Knight, seen Rapha playing DK earlier on, but then he's also banning away a champion he wants to play. Yeah. So maybe he just went for something that was very unique to Rapha without affecting his own champion pool.
It's interesting. We spend 5 minutes talking about it up here, and when we could just ask them and they would just tell us immediately, and I'm sure we will. But we are going to be getting into maps as well. Awoken up first.
Yeah, that's a pick from Rapha. It went by so fast when it was with Kilson and Cooler. I couldn't even believe it.
I'm not 6-second frag.
I don't think Rapha is going to want to play it quite as fast as they were. He's going to be a bit more meticulous in the setup. The question is,
think he'll have a choice?
Are they going for the sort of Ranger, DK, BJ lineup, or are we going to get a Galena there? There's some component that kind of slows the game down.
I mean, Rapha also had a really quick game versus Sirius on it. We won 3-1.
But that was just... He won it, he won it quickly 3-1, but I felt like the rounds were a slightly slower pace. But no, you're right, it was still rapid.
And also, I mean, for people out there who are watching, I mean, I know we have quite a few people who maybe not play the game, maybe they're new to it, or maybe they do play and they're trying to, enjoy what's happening and maybe get better. There's no better opportunity than watching it right now between these two players. And if you actually don't even have the game, it's free to play. So you can literally just go, download, get into the game, learn from what you get here, incorporate in your own play style, and try to improve and see what you got.
Bethesda launcher, Steam, go and get it.
And of course, the biggest thing is always, about improving your own play. And that's something that you can just track personally, game after game. And eventually it brings you someplace like here in the grand final. So
I mean, look at Rapha. He's been grinding this game. Yeah, eventually. In like 5 years. No, but the thing is, look at Rapha. Like, he never stops learning. He's been at the top for such a long time. He's played the game for such a long time, and yet he is still always learning as much as he possibly can to become that top player.
That's why it's difficult to go to bed at a decent hour during these tournaments, because it's just full of, conversating, I think was a word that you
did I
there, Jason? I think I heard that from you earlier.
We've gone when the champion picks at the moment. I'm just curious, are we going to be getting the Galena or not?
I think it's just going to be a mirror no matter what for Rapha, even if Galena does come in.
Do you think he'll mirror Cooler no matter what he picks?
Yeah, I think he will. Unless he goes something crazy.
It's got to be Galena. You can't not have... Yeah, okay, cool. But like you said, there's been a lot of learning from Rapha even during the course of this tournament. And, we hear a lot of conversation between him and Sirius and Dewey. Cooler has been kind of sequestering himself a little bit more. I think he has his own private villa out there somewhere. And he does show up in the mornings, but then he shows up here at the LAN. And the first thing he does is sit down and get playing. And we're going to get playing right now, right here on Awoken. Jason and Zoot, take us away.
Thank you very much, Jihad. Jason, we're doing the grand final together. I am so excited for this. It looks like we're jumping into game right now. Rapha going versus Cooler. We're starting on Awoken. On Cooler's point of view, and it's already explosive. Maybe a la Kilson Cooler. The rocket, though, is going to land first blood within about 10 seconds. The pace has turned up, Jason.
I almost feel like that's going to be a good showing of what this series is going to bring to light here. Obviously, Cooler now with that initial frag might try to slow things down, but Rapha, who's, you know, we talk about Waz being a player who's so good at moving around the map. I feel like Rapha has been able to show a fantastic his ability to do that as well. But he's got the Ranger, and you have to respect that orb. You also have to respect the Flame Strike out of Cooler. He knows it's not up. The orb actually goes through him here. Heavy was picked up by Cooler, but he's taking a lot of damage, and actually the suicides will come in off of hitting Rapha.
Yeah, he does manage to get a direct on him. He stripped most of the armor away, but Rapha is on good stead at the moment to go to the next Mega Health. He has got another Ranger to look out for, but let's have a look. They're going to meet each other. Oh, he doesn't quite hit him. He might want to escape now. Mega Health is up in 2 seconds time, and there's no peak rail. Oh, actually.
That timing. He picked up Mega right when that rail hit. It kept him alive through that shot. And now he's going to be very cautious to go towards Heavy at all here, really expecting Cooler to be in this position. But he's going to be able to get above 90. But he's going to get tagged up now, and he has 1 HP, and that's going to be all Cooler needs to finish him off.
Insane rails that we're getting from Cooler. That's something that we were speaking about a little earlier. Cooler, is he able to go head-to-head with the rails from Rapha? He also showed how strong he was going against claws. We got a little bit of totem damage happening, but here is the following Mega Health. Could be a drop. Hello, hello, hello. That's going to be Rockets. Orb comes in, but Cooler gets the turn on him despite having the disadvantage at the beginning.
And Rapha easily could have went back for Mega, but he really wanted that fight. He really kind of had an idea of where Cooler was, and the drop down was great. It's just the shots did not connect, or more importantly, Cooler just hit some insane rockets.
I mean, he got a 55 damage rocket, then a 45. I think Rapha was hoping for direct.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he needed in that point. Despite that, guys, we move into round 2, where we will follow Cooler. And they've not had a frag in the first 10 seconds, so clearly aggressive slowdown.
Yeah, slower pace game now here, boys. Let's see, though. You can see the rocket jump come in from Rapha. Oh, my God, Cooler just decimates him, sends him down to hell as Death Knight came from.
I'm surprised Raph is taking these kinds of risks. He knows Cooler's going to be able to do that with the Flame Strike. Maybe he was expecting to pull the trigger a little sooner, but Cooler's being very quick.
Just have to know when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive.
This is true.
And
I've heard this before.
Yeah, from someone. Someone wise. And you can see he's actually going to drop down yet again. The thing is, Cooler has the stack from Heavy. Rapha with the orb. Not going to be using it just yet, but he did so much damage off of that Heavy that Cooler just picked up means almost absolutely nothing.
I feel like Rapha wasn't confident in the angle he could get with the orb. It's like, if it's not going to kill him, I'm not going to use it now, because then I have to be on the run for about 20 seconds as Cooler is going to punish with that Flame Strike.
Heavy and Mega going to be up at relatively the same time. Again, Rapha being really cautious here, trying to challenge out against Cooler, and more importantly, spot out where he is. Flame Strike going to be used. Doesn't really connect with too much damage, but they will trade items, and Rapha now knows, okay, I've got a window to work with here. I don't have to worry about his ability anytime soon, and I can try to make a play happen, and it looks like he might try from Tri-Bolt.
Exactly. Cooler's kind of stuck in Banana, but Rapha is going to chase directly LG on LG. Cool. Again, he's been so confident in the shots that he's hitting. There's even an orb just to get feet away towards the light armor. Cooler's going to back out knowing he's got Flame Strike in a few seconds' time and can make a play potentially for heavy armor.
And likewise, now knowing that Rapha doesn't have his orb, he can be even more aggressive here and not have that threat of instantly being popped like a balloon. Heavy going to be picked up, and again, trading items between the two. But Rapha still more importantly, he's going to be that man down.
Important rail. Strike fear to Cooler. He's going to actually rocket jump up. Orb comes in as well, and it's a mutual frag at the end of it. Again, incredibly aggressive. What's that? They're testing each other in this. But Rapha's been relegated to his Galena now, a more typically defensive champion. I wonder how Cooler's going to be approaching this.
Well, we're going to find out here, luckily, in the next few minutes. Rapha already going to be down that first round. Heavy's trying to maybe go for the contest onto it. Asai going to back away. But yeah, I agree. Rapha's been so aggressive, more than we usually see out of him. A lot of these aggressive rocket jumps into his ability usage. But in general, Zoot, it doesn't look like it's been really working out for him.
No, I mean, we talked about possible surprises that a player could throw in at the final. Maybe he's kind of just testing the waters and seeing what is going to work.
Oh.
He's going to have to possibly change. This could hurt a lot. He's stuck in the air. Orbs could have gone there, but Cooler just lands so many rockets. That is round 2 going his way as well.
Cooler's got to be feeling good now off of this too, because he's taking the aggression that Rapha's used it against him, and more importantly, the traps that he's setting are working for him. You can see that fantastic initial bounce and the midair and the follow-up, all for 90s.
I didn't even have the orb up, so
yeah.
It doesn't matter. He hit perfect rockets. And look, that's the lowest his heart rate has been all tournament, I think.
That's a scary sign then, if he's feeling that confident right now. And he's not feeling the stress of this match.
With good results with Rapha and Quick Champions, I think he's probably feeling like he's in a position to win this final.
Yeah. Well, let's see now. Cooler on the Death Knight versus Death Knight yet again here between these two. And Cooler just going to be slowing things down, most importantly. Look at the disparity between the major item pickups. We do have a nice window of 8 seconds, which is very viable to get through. And Cooler's already reading into this, expecting rapha to be challenging. And he's going to spot him out right there.
No rockets.
Exactly.
Very difficult to send splash damage down. No tri-bolt either, of course. But eventually he's left alone to pick up that item. And you can see he's got a large amount of overstack. Rockets out and tentative. Edging away. Great rail from rapha. And Cooler makes his way into the lightning gun room. No commitment.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the weapons he needs now, right? He's got the rockets most importantly, which in that window towards rail, he would have loved to have had to return a lot of damage onto rapha. But think about these last 2 rounds, and now look at this one. Completely different styles, and these players are so good at being able to switch that up so easily and so fluidly between the two. That's a thing of beauty.
Push. Brilliant push from Cooler, avoiding that sort of sweet spot that tri-bolt has. Edges him back. That's going to be mega health taken, but it punishes with the rail. It's very little for rapha to work with, and he might just go through the spam. The defensive rockets are good, but is it going to be enough?
Oh, these rails out of Cooler. Fantastic first shot here, and rapha's feeling the pressure. He still has the opportunity to pick up a kill here, though, with that Flame Strike if he can connect it, but Cooler has a pretty decent stack here, and he's showing almost no signs of respect as he's constantly trying to keep this aggression up.
Going for the mega health instead. rapha would have heard that rocket jump, and so he'll get free armor from it. Rail, not quite able to punish enough. A few 7s, and that's about it. And Cooler, with that decision to go to the mega health, I wonder if he's played himself out of control a little bit. The next rotation of items are going to be crucial.
We can see, though, a lot of them doing quite a bit of chip damage towards each other. We have Mega and Heavy coming up in about 5 seconds time for both. Looks like Cooler will give up position towards Mega. rapha actually not going to go for the challenge on a Cooler. We typically see him like to attack away when someone's picking up a major item to punish them, but this time he goes for Mega instead. He hits a great rail there, but that rocket to rail combo at a Cooler does force rapha back.
Again, you mentioned about the contrast in playstyles that we could see. This is very, very different to what we've been getting before. rapha clearly recognized that, you know, I can't rush him. It isn't a strategy that's working. It's time to slow the pace down. Either wait for him to make a mistake or force him into one through hitting some better rockets, better rails, and so on.
And what scares me now here, Zoot, is that we get closer to that time limit, to that sudden death. With Death Knights, it's so easy to get a very quick kill with your ability. Now, the longer we go on, and not to mention the push coming out of Cooler right now could end things here. Gets that first frag. rapha is going to be down another man yet again here, but he's going to switch over to Ranger.
Well, is he going to be able to shut things down quick enough? Because Cooler on the 100-100, he's still going to be feeling fairly comfortable, but he's continuing to slow things down. Maybe he can trap in a corner. He lands the rail for free. He switches away maybe at the wrong time, but rapha can't quite get hold of him. Mega up, heavy up, rocket jump, but rapha misses it. There's not a full punish, and he takes the orb out just as mega health is picked up. Stacks it even, but the rockets from rapha might secure this. Never mind the rail with a single point of health.
Oh my lord, he's so lucky to have been able to survive that, but he did such a great job as well with that engagement. There's the return, though. Cooler instantly going to get the kill. And rapha again going to be down by 1.
I felt like there was a little bit sloppy in the fight before from Cooler. I mean, there was a couple of movement mistakes from rapha, even though he managed to succeed. Oh, the rockets from Cooler. He gets a mutual frag, and that is going to be enough to secure map 1 in the grand final. Cooler, he's up. Were you expecting it to be like this?
I don't know. Like, the past records show that Cooler's going to be favored in this series. He's won both times they've met in Quake Champions. He's won 7 times out of 10 overall in Quake. He's already off the back of a last match, which did go 4 maps, yes. But I feel like for Cooler, he grinds so much every day, and he always plays at that high mental state, that this is just another day for a practice for him.
I remember in a much earlier interview, he was thanking the practice of rapha. On his way up to PGL, and said this is a reason he's been able to step his level up to the next one. So maybe indirectly, rapha is at fault for allowing Cooler to get as strong as he is.
That's kind of thing. He's his own worst enemy for letting that happen, right? But we'll be going to Corrupted Keep next. This was Cooler's choice, and Corrupted Keep did go very well for Cooler up against Kilson
He's been
in
great,
the semifinal. And his LG has been pretty solid. His actually rail today has been really good as well.
He's hitting 66%. I know there's a smaller sample of rails than we've seen earlier in the playoffs, but again, it's just consistency.
And for me, you know, looking at the matches we've had a Cooler, his rockets have really shined. for me personally. And going on to Corrupted Keep, where you're not going to have rail anymore, so you don't have to worry about it. His rockets become that much more deadly, especially if you can set these traps and knock you into there. Like we saw in Awoken, he set the trap up towards upper T, caught him with 3 in a row, and was able to pick up a clean kill off of that. So now Rapha needs to kind of maybe rethink his strategy here, which we've seen him try different things, right? The first 2 rounds, he got aggressive. The 3rd round, he got more passive, which looked better in the end. But I feel like that download's complete. You know, he's got that terabyte connection, and he's like ready to go into the second map.
Well, I wonder if he's going to be able to play a different style to what he's tried in Awoken, because this is also a small map. Sure, the rail isn't there, so the long-range damage that Cooler's been consistent at dealing isn't going to be such a factor, but we've still got the heavy machine gun. We've still got the tri-bolt that can be good at zoning out. I wonder, I hope that Rapha's able to get in his head at the moment, because it seems very much the other way right now.
Well, when talking to Rapha after Sirius, like he mentioned he specifically knew the ranges he wanted to fight Sirius in. Stay out of mid-range where the LG's powerful, stay close or stay far. And now against Cooler, I think maybe he's looking at this like, maybe we need to stay away from playing far, which is why I got so aggressive. Don't let Cooler use the rail, and then play off of that. LG, I don't actually know who's going to have the better LG when it comes down to it between the two, because I think they're both fairly consistent when it comes to that weapon. But I think Rockets personally is, if Rockets a machine gun, heavy machine gun is really where it's going to count here on this map.
It's better use of machine gun. Are you using it at all the opportunities you can? It helps so much. We are checking out the champion composition here for Corrupted Keep. I actually think we might get something incredibly similar.
Yeah, I almost think we're going to see Mirror the entire time, to be honest.
Oh, we've got BJ out. As Rapha wants to...
Galena or BJ? Just thinking about it.
The thing is, have you got a wild card pick? Have you got something else that you maybe saved up and you're like,
Strong.
I could pull it out? He's going to go Galena, actually. He moves away from it, says maybe use that passive defensive tool if he has a chance to do it.
Well, that's what we said before, and he even said in his interview, the Galena, really good with the passive heal that you can use off of the totem to deal with burst damage coming your way, also to mitigate damage, but he also likes to use the totem for fights, specifically to have that heal on demand and have that advantage coming into a fight. So I would assume that's something we're definitely going to see out of him, but Cooler has been so accurate with his orb, he's been so accurate with his flame strikes as well, that it's going to be hard to deal with.
Completely. I want to see Rapha not taking as many gambles as he did in the first 2 rounds of Awoken, and hopefully for his sake he can get some advantageous fights going. We're moving into map number 2 of the grand final at the PGL Quake Open. We are on board with Cooler as he gets over to the lightning gun super early on. Pressure being applied from Rapha. Doesn't want to let him out of this area for cheap, but fades away into the nail gun room, and Cooler is given a little bit of space to breathe.
Yeah, he is, and you can see he's able to collect the double 50 in the red room. And again, the pace has been slowed down. Items going to be respawning on the respective sides of the map. They're both going to retreat away to secure those. And now a battle towards Rockets as Cooler's not been able to actually take this weapon. Whether Rapha's been denying it or Cooler's been faking himself out about it, it's still yet to be decided. But you can see Rapha is just spamming so many rockets.
He was hoping possibly that Rapha would investigate that room. He didn't quite go for it. Again, heavy machine gun is already dealt 60, 75, close to 100 damage now. And with the mega health and heavy coming up, he's not even going to use the flame strike, so he's got that saved up for the next fight. Rapha, he has not yet found a counter. He couldn't get hold of the lightning gun at all in the first minute. I'm curious if Cooler's going to continue denying just this weapon and not even touch the heavy side.
Well, again, we think back to what Rapha said before. He really likes to ban Death Knight away, but he took Nyx away from Claws and from Sirius because he respects those champions on those players so highly. Coming into this, obviously he's going to respect the Visor pick, but the Death Knight has been the bane of his existence in this grand final so far.
Cooler might have just given him a chance to go over to the lightning gun. No, he's going to cut around. Rapha not committing to anything. The thing is, if he goes to the lightning gun, he could theoretically orb out if he wanted to, but it's whether or not he actually wants to use the orb for this purpose, because you might have that downtime where you feel less mobile.
He still doesn't have heavy machine gun either for Rapha, so there's no real chance they can test long range like that. He doesn't even have tri-bolt either. So it's going to be very difficult for him to deal with Cooler in that position, but he steals away LG.
He actually orbed out in anticipation, grabbed the lightning gun, and was like, I don't want to hang around here for a second longer than I need to. Tri-bolt there, Cooler knowing that he has the lightning gun, is like, okay, I'm happy to move over to heavy. Goes for the flame strike, hits a little bit. Whether or not it's worth it, we'll see.
Just like a millisecond too late, but the LG is connecting really good, and Rapha is just being melted away. Cooler still has a ton of armor to work with here. The heavy machine gun coming out. Rapha's just trying to escape. Looks like he's going to be able to here, but for how long?
the LG once more. Mega Health's not up for ages, but the shotgun comes out all of a sudden. That's something rapha needed to do. Find something that could get past this wall of defense. But Cooler's going right back into him. Heavy's still not spawned. And rapha fades over towards the Mega Health, and Cooler straight off the spawn gets something to work with.
Rapha, that decision, the rockets, the orbs, everything's being thrown out except the kitchen sink, and even then it might come out to play here. You can see Rapha from the high ground is going to drop in, dodges so much damage with those rockets, just stepping backwards and stepping to the sides, and that's going to be a nice little double kill here.
Really hectic stuff, well executed fight there from the American. He's right next to the next major item that spawns. And maybe he can try and chill for just a second. But what kind of pressure does Cooler want to apply? He's got BJ. His whole champion composition or lineup is able to be aggressive if they want. So rapha's going to have to figure out how to deal with this. No rocket damage at all. Cooler will escape that from below.
Thinking back to the match versus Deheng that Rapha did use, his Ranger play was amazing versus Deheng's BJ. He constantly had orb ready to actually escape any of these engagements he didn't want to be in, and I'm assuming he's going to be doing just that yet again. Here's going to delay the armor for a second, going to rush over towards Mega. He knows he has the advantage, but that rocket going to pop him into the air, and that's not the direction he wanted to go. But now inside of Red Room, he's still yet to do any damage on this exchange.
It feels almost like he's just trying to step out of line enough to force Cooler to make Cooler think that using dual wield is the best thing to do, and then back out as soon as possible. We've got a rocket each. The second one pretty decent from Cooler. And no commitment from rapha, knowing now there's 45 seconds that he's got to hold on to, and he can get his first round in the grand final.
That duel has to come out of Cooler sometime soon. Mega's going to be secured for rapha most likely here. But can he get away? The duel is going to be used. You can see his health melted away. The orb's not going to be in a good position to escape, but he almost fakes out Cooler here, who doesn't go for the chase up the bounce pad, and the rocket's going to connect. And Cooler will tie things up.
Oh my god, rapha's going to be kicking himself, missing that dire orb. He could have escaped there, killed some more moments of time. But Cooler, suddenly the wind is in his sails. He might be able to push faster. BJ versus Galena, I'd say traditionally slightly favors the BJ, but
I actually want to give it to Galena on this one.
Really?
Slightly. Because that totem, the immunity frames you do have while using it, soaks up so much damage, and especially against double LG, it takes a long time to burn through it. So if Rapha can play it right, and if he can hit rockets like that, he might have a good opportunity. But he has to be so careful. The totem's going to heal up quite a bit. Maybe looking for the drop. Didn't have the double 50s there to help heal up with. But that sudden death is going to be real. This is only the first round here on Corrupted Keep.
Yeah, that was a great example there of actually the immunity that you can get from the totem briefly. Stacks are identical, major items spawning at might as well be identical time, but all of a sudden rapha actually wants to push into this, be aggressive, be proactive in this. He is above, so he can do some damage, but the lightning gun return fire from Cooler is still strong. That's heavy machine gun.
Yeah, doing some work here, trying to deny him Red Room to go for the double 50s. He's going to push in almost at the wrong time, but that bounce keeps rapha away from melting him with the LG. And again, that totem, he's only using it in these fights. He's not trying to stack up to 3. He's trying to use it for these specific fights and these engagements.
And Cooler with no dual wield still. It's just survival mode. There's enough time between the major items now that rapha can actually get both of them. He might be right in this. Galena is going to take it down. Rapha is a round up on Cooler in map 2.
Looking back on Awoken, comparing it to Corrupted Keep, the style has slowed down so much. And you can tell the players are trying to read into each other. And mostly the players are trying to gain that solid control they need around the map. Rapha's tried it multiple times, using that high ground to transition between Heavy and towards Mega. But he hasn't been able to get there quick enough most of the time to actually shut down Cooler. But he's going to be towards LG. Heavy machine gun. Not going to be, actually, it will be in the hands of rapha. No tri-bolt for either, so if rapha can hit these shots, he's actually going to win out on this trade in the most part. But he's going to back off in the meantime, give Cooler some room to breathe, and for him to collect some weapons.
Yeah, small stalemate for the moment. No big deal. They're exactly both getting the lightning gun very early on. Rapha, he spawned the lightning gun side, so really for him that he doesn't have to work as hard to get it. Small chip with the nail gun. Nothing to be concerned about. Again, stacks as good as equal. Who's going to step a foot out of position first? Cooler does need to acquire the rockets, which is a smooth thorn in his side.
For me, though, like a DK versus DK matchup, I feel like Cooler has rapha beat here. It just fits his style more for the surprise attack.
I find that crazy, though, because throughout the playoffs, I felt that rapha's DK's been as close to perfect as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's contrasting styles. He gets aggressive with it and hits flame strikes. Cooler likes to play passive with it and use flame strikes. So again, I mean, we've been talking about the difference and the contrast of these two players, and it's only reflected in how they play the same champions.
Cooler's definitely had his number with this champion throughout the grand final so far. We had a small battle going on. Neither of them wanted to overcommit. They couldn't feel like they had a large enough chance to win the fight individually.
It's kind of like mixed here, I feel like, between these two champions. You only want to fight when your build is up. I mean, same with BJ, same with Ranger if possible, because it's such a turning factor.
Oh my God.
Even with Mega being picked up, Cooler just shredded through it.
And he's going to find some health in a second. He had the heavy to fall back on. He did loads of damage with that weapon. You can tell he's now dancing around the map a little faster. Did you hear that bounce pad getting used? And he can't be seen first if it's in a close quarter engagement. That's the problem that he's having. If Rapha's going to play around the corners, let's figure out how he's going to trap into him.
So just look at that. Cooler was chasing Rapha, and then on a dime, he stops. Both of the players stop and just instantly go back to holding that shift or whatever button they have walk bound to and played slow. Like that turning of the tide of speed you're playing at is so difficult to do, and these two players are honestly showing a masterpiece of it.
I mean, it's changing gears, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly as you say, that it is a masterpiece. They do it the best. They've got this far in the tournament. And if you can switch up the pace that you're playing, catch your opponent off guard, or be conservative when you need to be, you're making some high percentage decisions.
The angle Cooler's trying to hold to, just out of range of the tri-build. Again, his heavy machine gun is putting down a lot more damage, 510 compared to 210, and he has over 12% accuracy more than him. Very important weapon on this map, and that's what we were talking about before, right? Rockets and heavy machine gun are going to be the big two to look out for.
I'm actually surprised that Cooler hasn't capitalized off it more this round, considering how much he's done with it. He goes into a nail gun on this occasion. Rapha suffers a lot from that. He knows the Mega Health next. Oh, that rocket can't easily chase, and he doesn't go for the Mega Health first. So Rapha, I think he's won the loss regest then.
Yeah.
I really feel that Cooler could have got both of the big items.
If he went for Mega first and transitioned to Heavy and caught Rapha at the same time, like that would have been a fight that he should win any day of the week.
Maybe he felt that if he goes to the Mega Health, Rapha can get a position to block him off and then take the heavy armor. So if he's placing higher value on the armor, then so be it. We go into close quarters, and Rapha, he suddenly turns it around. They decided that is the moment to commit. Rapha, after a fruitful first round, he is looking good, almost 4 minutes here.
Yeah, 1 minute until we do have the end of round, and Rapha could potentially go up 2-0 here on the choice of Cooler and Krebs to keep. But again, the Dire Orb is going to be massive when it comes to this fight. Rapha trying to keep his distance. Very hard to hit Orb. He's not going to challenge LG. He doesn't want to get in close proximity of Cooler's Ranger unless at least he has his Flame Strike up.
Is Rapha going to want to hold this position a while? Still 10 seconds.
Again.
He doesn't see him. He didn't see him just traverse that part.
That fighting into instant stopping. And that damage actually is going to be enough to keep, I would imagine, Cooler away for a little bit of time. But speaking of time, Cooler is running out of it. 30 seconds left to go in the round here, Zoot.
Rapha, no, I don't know if he was guesstimating a timing on heavy, but there's maybe a small mistake happening there. But there's only 20 seconds to go, so it's just run, taking a lot of lightning gun damage. And Cooler, he's going to have to commit soon. He surely can't wait for the big item. Flame Strike, it does miss
amazing.
a bit.
No, it's perfect because he can't run that direction to catch up to Rapha. He's going to have to go through the fire and take tons of damage or go the long way, which is bot Rapha trying to almost get away, but Cooler, he just catches the tail of them with the LG and ties things up and throws us into sudden death.
I think he used the orb in order to catch up with him around the corner. He went to heavy and said, right, I've got clear line of sight. Just get in range of that lightning gun and I can do enough damage to trickle him down to 0.
And that spot's so dangerous too because you push them so fast and far away from you that you only have a limited amount of time with the LG to actually do damage. So Rapha just wasn't quite stacked enough to deal with that. All he needed to buy was 1 more second, and now in close proximity of each other. Again, the rockets coming out of Cooler. There's a little bit of damage, but Rapha's going to jump out with the LG, and Cooler is falling. 15 health left.
That was a lot of damage. The Mega Health just in the nick of time. He goes into the orb close range. He's looking for the rockets. The dodge, though, with the orb. The lightning gun secures Rapha the round again. That orb, man. What a dodge.
Honestly, Cooler as well. Dodging the LG out of Rapha there was amazing. I'm surprised. Yeah, there we go. We can see the replay. He does catch him up. He does throw the orb, predicting where Rapha was going to go. And that's got to hurt. But the thing is, if you're Rapha there, yeah, get your hand back on that mouse button because you know the game is not over. And for him, keeping that composure, losing fights that he's going to get very frustrated about is so important. And Rapha, he does it the best.
I felt like that fight down by Mega was almost more insane, though, because if that direct rocket hit him, I'm pretty sure Cooler wins that fight and ties up the rounds. so sick from rapha.
The thing was, like, before that fight even began, we saw rapha pick up the 3 hourglasses out the window. Well, we'll take a second. 12 HP left, and he shows Cooler how it's done with his own Flame Strike. But the window, when he picked up the 3 hourglasses and he backed away, he actually got his ability up the perfect time that he could force out a fight. Cooler comes back in, takes away Mega, and has the shotgun to finish off the kill, and he's going to get heavy off the back of this. Or maybe not. Oh, okay, we got it. But
He stole it. I mean, I like the aggression immediately when he spawned with Ranger and didn't want to get rapha to get any momentum at all. But look, we're fighting again. This is going a hyper-aggressive. This could go horribly wrong for Cooler. We can get a total reverse 3-0 compared to map 1.
I like how he's now using the Galena against the BJ to deny LG the best he can. He's sticking around this area, knowing how important it is to pick up this weapon, but he has 19 health left, and he just barely skates by.
Heavy in a moment.
Cooler's on the chase.
He's so fast with that. The Heavy does get taken. The rocket sends him down to about 10 points of health.
Wait,
no
what?
machine gun comes out.
How does he escape with 2 HP? Cooler doesn't get the finish. He's able to heal up to 52. Cooler hopefully not overestimating or underestimating how much health rapha does have left.
Cooler's he can chill a little bit. We're only a minute and a half into this round. The thing is, he's starved for resources. There's the LG push, but the rocket is incredibly clutch, knocking him off of the ledge. Mega health though from rapha.
Can't
He's
contest
got
Heavy.
so much.
There's nothing Cooler can do about Heavy anymore. He's going to have to get this one up, and that basically gives rapha full control of the map. One of the first times, if not the first time, we're actually seeing one player get full control of these items. And with the triple totems they did have down, he was able to refresh that Mega, and that rocket is actually going to knock him back, knock him around.
Really sick
These rockets.
These are mad. He doesn't have the lightning gun either. He's got dual wield available, but you can see that he's got the nail gun to the ready. Lightning gun from rapha, again putting him down to 10 points of health. Heavy is going to be up in 5, but I don't think that Cooler wants to be near there for the moment.
He needs to get rid of a totem, Cooler, because this is going to be rapha with that much HP, which he can reapply in the middle of the fight here. As you can see him push directly in. And rapha now going back-to-back maps, winning 3-0 for each player.
This has gotten really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect next.
And
This
we're going to
is insane.
Vale. We're going to the
Vale
map
now?
that
Oh my
we're
God.
going to Vale. We're going to the map that Dehang like literally told us we know is rapha's weakest map. And then when it came down to them two playing against each other, rapha won.
Maybe rapha's thinking that, hey, Cooler doesn't have a read on this map the same way, because you're getting the picks earlier on, so you can ban later. I think maybe this is something specifically applied to Cooler.
We'll see. I mean, he used it up against rapha. His Death Knight has started to step up, has started to show.
That lightning gun damage from Cooler, by the way.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Doesn't get better than that. I don't care what value rapha says, Cooler did the best.
I felt like Cooler's LG on top was a little bit stronger in that fight. rapha ended up getting a lot more damage with it.
I think Cooler did the better tracking,
Yeah.
but rapha had the better positioning when using it.
100%.
He took the fights at the right times with LG, but Cooler was able to keep the crosshair on the model a lot longer. But still, I mean, I think the story of this whole Grand Finals is going to be about these two champions we've seen, the Death Knights out of both players. And when we go to Vale,
It's going to be there as well, isn't
exactly.
it? I mean, a lot of that, what happens off the start of Vale is you spawn either a heavy or a lightning gun or something along those lines, and it's a race towards getting that rocket launcher, the zone control weapon that's fairly easily accessible. But that's also highly competitive place to be. So are we going to be seeing lots of frags early on, same pace again as Kilson and Cooler were having on a lot of the maps they were playing?
I think it might be similar to Awoken.
Do you think so?
I almost want to say it's going to be similar to Awoken, or it's going to be similar to CK. So it's either going to be a really aggressive or really passive. No, I think it's going to be aggressive, to be honest, between the two.
Oh, Cooler's going Ranger. Oh, is this going to be something that rapha wants? Obviously, he couldn't go Keel and was banned out.
Some mirror match.
Okay.
All right, so we're expecting a lot of mirror matches, except the Galena difference. But the Galena, it worked. Like, the fights against BJ worked out for him because he was able to heal.
I was really impressed by that. Because I didn't expect BJ to be as, I don't know, out-combated as much, outplayed as hard.
I think at their level, it does.
Yeah.
At like, okay, I'll say my level. I'm not going to include you in this. You know, I'm going to be nice. At my level, it's a little bit of a different story. It just depends on the skill. Like Clutch.
Yeah.
You know, at lower levels, he's not that good because people don't know how to play him properly. But the higher levels, he gets even better because people are that good.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are moving into map 3. We're guaranteed a map 4 because the series is tied up. It's Cooler and rapha. We start with the Russian. Death Knight, though, versus Galena. rapha doesn't want to go for...
Is he going to get both items?
He does, but weapon-wise, he's a lot weaker. He's going to fly through the teleporter for a second, eventually get onto the rockets, but it was kind of costy.
Oh my god! He lived with 6 HP to be fair, so it wasn't really that easy of a kill, but it made him look easy. And rapha knows how low he is, and instantly the Death Knights will be dead.
I wonder who actually benefits most from that whole exchange. Heavy's going to be up in a second. Cooler, he waits a long time. Lost, again, half the stack. All the major items that Cooler's been taking this game, which is every single one, apart from this mega health. He didn't really get much in the way of boosting him in fights, because he kept putting himself in a dangerous position.
And again, we saw, by the way, just to reiterate what we talked about with the LGs between the two players, rapha using it situationally way better there. Obviously, Cooler didn't have one, but you saw the constant weapon switching out of rapha for every part of the map, every moment, every situation was on point. Nice little pre-fire with the rocket as well, and the rail.
Ooh. Almost another 100-100 for rapha. Cooler, though, not going through the teleport, drop to mega health. A bit more tentative from him. No rail from rapha, so harder to punish at that long range. Eventually falls back for mega health. There's now quite a large gap between the spawn times for these items.
Also remember, if rapha can win this grand final, this will be his 3rd title of the year. He won DreamHack Tours with Tahang. He won QuakeCon 2s with Tahang. And if he can win here, he'll win his first dual tournament of Quake Champions.
And within the span of 12 months, that's, God, there's another 2 titles to add there, I think.
Yeah. And there's still, what, DreamHack winner coming up too.
Yeah.
So let's see. Nice little rocket jump out of rapha. Catches Cooler off guard. He's going to go up the bounce pad another time. But for the first time of this round, rapha will have rail.
That's actually pretty sick from Cooler to still be alive. The question is, can he survive much longer? And it's answered quickly. He has just got the Galena left. Can he set up anything? Can he get the weapons? I quite like that rapha picked Galena early on, because you do need to set up. You do need to have that start where you can at least get a weapon that your opponent can't, and fight for some position. And
to deny Mega Side too. I mean, you have the Totem and the Teleporters, so you kind of eliminate that sort of control, which high ground control on Veil is very, very important. And now he's going to go for the next fight. He knows he has the champion lead. He knows he has the damage and the weapons, and that's going to be rapha taking the round. rapha's getting better as the series goes on. He really is.
I was worried in the first map. I was really, really worried for him, because Cooler, I mean, it was a walk in the park for him, but then he came right back. He turned the heat up to max. And now, Cooler, he's going to have to recalibrate a little bit. There's rapha on the Galena once again. Sets up the totem on the teleport exit, already making that position hard for Cooler to fight for. And he's going to want to hold it as long as he can.
He's getting a little bit lucky as well with the spawns coming through. Marked by LG, he gets that, goes to the teleporter, blocks it off immediately, so he maintains high ground control. He's going to concede rockets, but maintaining high ground is going to be much more important in this situation.
I think it would be really smart for Cooler now to go up the bounce pad, clear that totem, and prevent rapha from being able to set up any more in that position. But he hasn't done so. The rockets are rapha narrowly missing the rail. There's the bounce pad, but he's doing it very, very late. rapha, he might even push through the teleporter again and try to push for more damage. Ah, there, of course, the
Flame Strike. There's no way that's going to be confident, but he sees it go towards Mega, so he knows he has the distance he needs to stay away from the Death Knight. Flame Strike does go in and doesn't connect, but that rail out of rapha will force Cooler to play a little bit more passive now. And again, he's not stacking his totems at all. He's specifically using Galena in the way
he had
for these fights.
Earlier, which Cooler had to bypass, but he did hold another for a long time. I wonder if he's saving it to just keep at the top of this part of the map.
That was awkward. 32 HP is there a little bit early for Mega. He's going to have it in the fight, though.
Your rockets do nothing to me. I just dodge.
Well, Cooler's been, I swear, he's been like not full stack for a majority of this round. Been having a hard time getting his HP and armor back up to full. rapha moving so effortlessly around the map, it seems.
No, totem's still up there. Has got the tri-bolt. There we go. Pops it down. Maybe a rocket jump back up.
I mean, yeah, like looking at his style with Galena, that totem, it just supersedes any sort of totem fighting or totems in fights, because if you deny that, it pretty much guarantees that he's going to take 75 damage if he wants to get high ground. So it's like, you're either going to have to take damage to get here, or you have to go up the bounce pad, where I could be waiting for you, knock you back into it and kill you. So it really puts Cooler in a rough position.
If Cooler loses this round, I want him to pick Galena first, next. I think that's one of the only ways he's going to be able to counter and properly challenge for control there.
Well, now he's really limiting the control out of Cooler. He's got another one at the other teleporter over towards Heavy. And Cooler, again, he's still trying to restock constantly.
Well, if rapha does want to push in any more and secure a kill with all the control that he's getting, at least for the Cooler's sake. He's not down a champion. Rapha's going to have to get close, and that Flame Strike doesn't do anything on this occasion. Cooler is pretty low, still looking for the tri-bolt damage, but no commitment.
The thing is, Cooler's not been high ground on this map yet, except the bounce pad once. And that's really risky now, because Rapha's going to have the triple stack. He's going to have Mega in this fight. He's going to have the resack when he goes back up top, or through another teleporter. Like, Cooler is in such a rough spot. But again, all he needs is that one fight, that one catch onto Rapha to burst him down, and it might be here because Rapha's getting aggressive.
He's going to have the Flame Strike up right now. He's got to pop it somehow, but ends up killing himself with the Flame Strike, I'm pretty sure. But the amount of pressure that was being applied from Rapha, regardless, I mean, he was a dead man walking.
He literally was. He's definitely.
Yeah.
He was getting good at these when you don't even mean to do them. Looks like 40's been rubbing off on you, or rubbing on you, I don't know. Meantime, the Rockets coming out of Rapha with the LG combo. Oh, this could be it here. One rail can finish him off. The Tongue comes in again, blocks the tri-bolt damage, and Rapha gets another frag.
Shield has been put down. Get out of here. Cooler not able to do anything yet on Veil. These important rails. Already the possibility that a totem is there. It's like, oh, I can't even push through. I don't even have the health anyway. He's got a minute.
Oh, no! No armor, 100 HP, 90 damage rocket, plus 10 damage from the slime. You know what that means? A dead Cooler.
Brutal. That is absolutely brutal. I've never seen something like that.
He knocks him into it as well. he knows. He's a little cheeky look to the camera. But up 2-0, and Cooler, you wanted to see him go Galena at the start of the round. He did not do it.
It's not been working for him like this, but he might have found a position. He misses the Flame Strike. That could have done oh so well for him. Does take 25 damage from the flames. It's not a lot. But again, more pressure. Rocket. This is where Cooler can potentially excel. LG on LG, both of them so weak, but Cooler finally drawing first blood in Veil.
Thing is that Mega, with it being delayed, it's not like Cooler can restack instantly. There's a good chance Rapha could challenge out on it, especially if he's able to pick up LG or pick up Rockets, and he's going to be there immediately. I don't know if Rapha knows, though, that Mega was delayed.
No more pressure
there's
applied.
the answer. He picks it up.
Yeah, apologies earlier. I think Cooler did get first blood, but it was so fast the return fire from Rapha that it didn't even feel like it because he immediately had the advantage. And Cooler's actually been able to stay alive, and now he might get a bit more use from Death Knight. Good rocket here from Rapha. It's going to shut down. Cooler was just staring down a possibility to explode all over him.
And even with the initial kill that Cooler had, and with Flame Strike being up, he wasn't able to maintain any control. Rapha took away Heavy. He's trying to take away Mega here as well. You can see Cooler's getting up the ground, 22 HP left, and Rapha, instead of going for the Mega, he goes for the kill. Smart play by him.
Really, really nice from Rapha. Cooler, you can see the way he was aiming. He switched over to the rail. Maybe he could have gotten a rocket instead. We've got Ranger and Ranger. We've got Diral for both. There's a nice little rocket jump. When are the orbs going to come out? Are they going to come out? Oh, I love this. Denying the light armor first because you can't pick one up after you're overstacked on the armor as it is. And now positioned perfectly in time for the Mega Health. The Cooler want to orb in on it. It does spawn in a second. They both put it down. Almost denying that position from each other. Rail just misses. The dodge coming out from Cooler. Sidestepping once again. He can't quite get it. But still, Rapha certainly won that. And he might even find the shot now. Cooler's just desperate for any amount of health. There it is, shotgun, and again. That is going to be one more kill. We're just getting 3-0s quite possibly, unless Cooler can do something phenomenal with his Galena now. This is mad.
That rail v rail, by the way, in my head, I was singing Benny Hill. Benny Hill music during that one. Yeah, we might see the 3-0 back-to-back here one more time as Rapha on the Ranger. He's got the Rockets. He doesn't have LG, though, so I would imagine he's going to head in this direction, which has been such a core weapon for him in this map in particular. But Cooler's been able to get Mega, most importantly, so he's gotten 1 foot out of the grave and 1 foot into the map. But can he get the other one out and try to have some sort of semblance of control back into this round?
I think it's actually kind of possible because he's already got one totem up the top. But look at that, he's using his ult. That's so intelligent, Rapha. He knows how important it is to get rid of those totems on the map.
And not get caught bounce pad as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So really smart.
Great rocket, lightning gun as well. Cooler though, he's still decently health and armored. Rapha again has to be careful and knows that he's probably going to have to get rid of another totem at some point and just see if he can get himself to that full natural. Pretty much there now.
Prioritizing that armor as well instead of the 8 HP. Wants to be able to contest towards Heavy. No, Cooler has the high ground. We've seen Rapha maintain with those 7s. And not to mention the Dire to catch Cooler off guard. And there it is, Rapha. He's going to be 1 map away here from winning the PGL Quake Champions Open.
He can do it. He can win his first ever dual LAN in Quake Champions, denying that possibility from Cooler. On the international side, should I correct myself? Sorry,
Yeah,
Jason.
well, that's fine. No.
Three
I'm with you.
3-0s though. 3 3-0s.
Yeah.
This is bananas.
You know what that means?
Next one's gonna be 3-0.
We're going to have 2 5-rounders. It's going to go the full distance
so?
here, I think.
Well, what's the logic to that prediction?
There is none.
Okay.
Come on, you've met me. Do I have any logic? None at all.
I mean, if you're saying it, I'm hoping for it.
But look at that damage difference, by the way. That just shows like how much rapha had full control, period.
I think that the Galena pick off the beginning was brilliant from rapha. I honestly don't know why Cooler didn't catch on to that a little sooner. I think it might be one of just naturally his weaker maps. You see his accuracies as well, 23 LG, 23 rail. I mean, he struggled to get onto that.
Because if we think back to Cooler playing 2s and rapha playing 2s, rapha plays a lot of Galena with Dehang as well.
Yeah.
Like they both switch between Visor and Galena depending on maps.
Cooler also played a decent amount of it.
He did with Latromi played the Galena for him when he played with him. With Nitrino, I think he still played the Visor. I try to remember a time when Cooler did not play Visor in 2s. And like he played Galena.
He did like to behave as carry,
yeah.
you could say.
So yeah, I'm not gonna get into that discussion. No, I think that's just kind of a lapse in judgment, and a lapse in experience, because we know rapha plays Galena. Cooler can play Galena. I'm not saying he can't, but he doesn't have as much experience as rapha does in the competitive sense of playing her.
Well, we will jump into one of the larger maps now. We're going into Ruins. We've had 3 small ones. They've been pretty quick.
This fits the way Cooler wants to play as well, if we think about it. Set up the traps with Death Knight and catch rapha off guard. There's so many angles.
He has been great on this map, actually, throughout the tournament. They've all won their own respective picks so far. Do you see this going to a 5th?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if we have a 3-0 in this one, even with rapha being on fire, winning 2 back-to-back, but I feel like this is going to be Cooler's map, and that would bring us to Blood Covenant, which is going to be ridiculous.
I'd love to see that one, actually.
Yeah.
That map would be nuts. And what's the last pick here going to be? Are we going to be getting a Galena? Just want to go some more aggressive. We are. Spirit matches all the way today.
I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it at all. Again, we're seeing just contrasting styles with the Death Knights. We're seeing contrasting styles with Galenas. Ranger, pretty similar, I'd say. Both looking for the die orb kills and the die orb damage in fights instead of using it for mobility. We've seen Cooler use it for mobility once. In particular, I can think of Uncorrupted Keep, when he's able to catch rapha on the retreat from Super Shotgun to Rocket. We saw rapha do it just on the last one with Fail, taking out the totem over by Mega. So both being very smart in the Ranger play and very similar, but the other champions are just night and day.
I'm a little bit surprised that at this point now we've got the runes. No one's picked the Nyx. Didn't get banned out after all. Don't have to worry about the Visor. Is a good counter as well to something like a Death Knight where you can dodge away from the Flame Strike. But nevertheless, guys, we are into map 4 here of the grand finals of the PGL Quake Open. They're going to meet each other very early on, and Rocket to Flame Strike to Tribolt. That is first blood settled within 10 seconds.
Wow, that was a really nice shot of rapha too with the Tribolt. Watching from his point of view as he retreated away, an initial Flame Strike as well. And you can see him, he wants his control. He's going to drop down but get caught out by a rail. Surprised to see him round that corner, especially when we've seen Cooler in the past like to wait and lurk there for an instant die orb kill. And now he catches him again. He's keeping his pressure on.
It's got pulled a little bit. That die orb sent him spinning completely. Cooler, he's going to be able to pick up a kill.
And he catches rapha on the drop. Over towards Heavy, going to spawn in 1 second. I mean, I'm going to respect that play to rapha. You know, he went for the die orb in because he had to commit to the fight.
It was his only choice at that point, but Cordavi was just about enough to do the job. Now, rapha might want to slow it down a bit. Not much time has passed. Should be able to get onto Mega Health. Cooler, I think, while he gets some other weapons, he might slowly mingle his way over to Rockets at some point.
And this is definitely going to be a that juggle. Okay, well, it didn't connect as much as I thought it would have.
That's going to be incredibly strong. rapha dropping down onto LG can get some of that levitation going. Rail again, he's so stable with his aim.
And if you're rapha here, I mean, we talk about a style with Galena trying to use the totems for fights, but those are normally on maps where it's close quarter combat. Ruins of Sarnath, there's so many positions you can hide these totems that there's a realistic chance we could see rapha get the overstack yet again, like we did see on Veil.
All down, he goes for everything. He tries to get the double blast going. Rail, can't quite hit it, but rapha has got enough health, and now definitely enough armor. Cooler might have just positioned himself outside of control. I'm curious what he's going to do come this Mega Health.
The split as well between the items. can Cooler even challenge out anymore as he gets tagged up by the rail? 59 HP, there's no chance that he can do that. With him shooting that totem, I actually should have told Rapha, like, hey, I can go take Mega freely, but it's going to allow Cooler to sneak in because Rapha's dropped down for it. Could jump up, but not going to connect any damage off the back of that.
Wow, Rapha's pushing into this. The rocket, oh, he just hits on the ledge. He's looking for the LG now, but he's pressured too much from Rapha. With about 36 health. We're down to one champion, it's just Galena versus Galena. Cooler a little aggressive. He's only had about 20 health left, but Rapha doesn't want to finish the job yet.
I think he just spotted him towards rail directly under him. Mega's going to be up in 1 second time, so he's going to be able to secure this one, even though Cooler got it previously. And he's trying to go for the chase here. And considering we're down to one champion each, it comes down to this last fight. This could be it here. Rapha going to round the corner, looking for the tags, looking for the track, and he's going to be able to do it, able to tank the damage from those rails. And Rapha is 2 rounds away, Zoot.
I mean, it was looking a little bit rough during the round at certain points, but great job from Rapha to overcome all of that.
He lost 2 champions first.
How many rounds is that in a row for him now? 7 in a row?
That is 7. You can count.
I'm good
impressed.
at this.
It's very difficult. I'm not even like being a jerk about it. Like 12 past the map is really hard, so I'm actually impressed.
Well, we are going to get double Death Knight off the start of round 2. Rapha securing the heavy armor, but not super quickly. Kind of a small face-off at the beginning. Late pickup of the Mega from Cooler. Obviously going to be spotted out by Rapha. He even gets the late damage.
30 seconds in, but you can still really feel the pressure that's going to be mounting on both these players' shoulders. Look at this push committee, he's so fast. And Cooler has no time to react. And to be honest, this isn't the first time Cooler's been caught off guard looking the wrong direction.
I mean, Rapha was so quick there. His movement was excellent. He was strafing at max speed, max acceleration, and getting those early shots up when he'd already landed a rail before is absolutely brilliant. All comes in incredibly close. Well dealt with from Rapha at the moment. Does he want to push in for the last bit of damage? Have to respect some of these rockets. World-class before. Now he goes for the machine gun. How does he turn that around? Rapha maybe slight overcommitment, but I mean, I would have bet my house that he would have won that fight.
I thought he was going to as well. I mean, he had a really good stack. He had a lot of damage done on the entry, a lot of LG as well. Didn't go for the rail shot because he wanted to commit towards more, but I like the play to go towards heavy, but Cooler to stay composed. I think his heart rate, went down after that fight. Oh my god!
That was savage. So quick. And this time, Cooler's reacting quickly. But it's gone wrong against Galena before.
That's true. Rapha did come back being down 2, but can he do it another time? I know he's feeling confident here. But you can never count Cooler out. He's now got heavy as well, so his stack is looking fantastic. And more importantly, he doesn't have to worry about the range or the depth anymore, right? He doesn't have to worry about being bursted down and losing the stack, so he can fight more aggressively against Rapha.
Make up in a second, Cooler. Small trap, he does come out in the end, but the rockets have been amazing from Rapha. He's barely lost any health. Now he can possibly fight. Totem there to protect him, but starting to edge away. Actually, quite intelligent. He's not able to get onto heavy. Cooler was desperate to get in position to secure that item. That does put Rapha slightly on the back foot, but not by much. He's got weapons, he's got ammunition, more totems that he can start to put down. Cooler, whether or not he'll start thinking about the clock, I'm not sure yet.
I
but
think
he's
a little early.
He's got to think, how the hell am I going to get around? I can't drop 8 in a row to him.
But wait, there's more. No, I agree. Like, Cooler has to put a halt onto this because Rapha's built up so much momentum, and I know it's a word that we say so often, but 7 rounds straight, you can't argue with me on this. 3 minutes in, though, and we're starting to hit that crunch time for Cooler to potentially think about dragging this out. Champ versus champ.
Hold up here from Cooler. Keep Rapha out of here. Ready? No, direct. Lands into Mega Health, but still a lot of armor has been removed. Maybe going to be secured. Full 175 armor for Cooler.
Rapha's got 2 totems down, though. You gotta keep in mind with this. It's gonna be very important if we do see him pick up this frag.
Oh, Cooler's done it. He's broken it. He's broken the streak that Rapha had. He gets himself around on the board, and that nightmare of 7 stops. That's got to feel good because that'd be haunting him desperately.
He's really frustrated about that one. And as we saw from Cooler's point of view, he had no rocket ammo left. He only had machine gun, and he had no other weapons as well.
He had no ability up. There was no orb left for Cooler during that fight, so I thought he was going to walk into absolute hell, but despite that, he turns it around. He gets himself a major item now in round 3. But a lot of weapons. Within the first 20 seconds, get the trifecta, the rockets, the rail, and the lightning gun. Now we can just wait. Is he going to fall into the trap? One rocket. The flame strike's good as well. He has not lost much stack from that fight. rapha is going to be licking his wounds. He's trying desperately to get onto the heavy armor, but that was one risk too many. First blood here for Cooler. Did he just spot him?
Yeah, well, he's going to hear him if anything. But that rail's going to miss, and now he's low on HP.
Great rail.
Yeah, very, very good rail, and rapha didn't go for the chase there either, trying to place one very cautiously. And in that last round, we did see rapha actually get 2 totems down the Galena, so if he was able to pick up that frag, there was good potential to turn it into a third. Shotgun Blast doing some serious work against Cooler.
Ouch, man, that hurt a lot. I think he might have just caught a frame from rapha. One rail. Again, brilliant defensive play. Is it going to be enough to help him get onto the Mega? It's fine. Only 50 HP for rapha. He's starting to collect the bubbles, and Cooler's able to escape with a little more stack.
Yeah, and you can't challenge from upper T if you're rapha here. That Flame Strike is going to be a little bit too real to deal with. I'm not going to fall into that trap another time.
Look at these little mini flicks that we're getting from Cooler. He's looking awesome at the moment with the rail, and he's needed to get his aim up, especially after that 9-round Veil.
Well, we know Cooler is one of the players to have games stick around against him. I mean, we saw him playing against base, and in the interview, he was only talking about Claws. He didn't even mention the base game pretty much because that's how ingrained that match versus Claws was. So you would imagine the previous maps still going to be doing the same to him here. But look at this. This is going to be bad for rapha.
Well, I thought an orb could have come out as well and maybe tried to dodge the flame strike, but you've got to react so quick to do something like that. Too quick. Here comes their heavy armor. Orb, though, has not been expended. He's got time to do this. He actually goes in. He wants to get the heavy, knowing the flame strike can't take him down. LG, however, it's way too much for rapha to put up with. Cooler can start to take the lead in map 4.
I actually like that play, too, to kind of let him come in and take heavy, because then it gets him in a position where rapha then has to commit to the fight with no orb. So it's like, hey, you're going to have to fight me, and my LG is already ready out and being used to decimate you.
I think if rapha wanted to make it work, he had to get some entry damage while performing that maneuver onto heavy.
I mean, that's what's come down to for a lot of the players have been saying. Like, if you get that first bit of damage down and in there in the fight, then you're looking really good. And you can see rapha going to be caught out. The rail's not going to land out of either player.
It's close. LG switching it on his zone. Now there's going to be the flame strike. rapha, he's on about 100 collective health and armor left. Lightning gun pretty decent, and there's the totem, deflecting some of the damage. And the flame damage over time is also now gone. Cooler was thinking for a moment, does he want to get the heavy armor? Doesn't want to run down below and meet up with rapha, and that rail is nasty from rapha. He tries to chase it down, almost gets it. There's another angle there. He is railable. Cooler, rapha's just, if he hits that, it's the frag. It does 90 damage in total. Look at that, Cooler's wasted enough time. He can get onto the Mega once again. Do you think rapha should have stuck around a little longer?
He had him locked, right? I was actually wondering, would rapha commit to that one? And
if he gets the kill, though, and he's still low health, then...
Yeah. Okay. Well, now he's no health.
rapha, he was just desperate to make a move, somehow chasing in the corners of the map. Maybe he could have gotten that kill down at J-Spot. Couldn't quite get it. But then Cooler could have spawned over at Heavy, started to take control right away on the next champion. So maybe rapha just considered a lose-lose situation.
You know, as we mentioned, wanting to see Cooler play Galena on Veil, I almost want to see rapha play Galena as first pick here on Runes, because he's been playing a lot more cautiously with it, which I think has been working out for him for the most part. And there's a good chance you can get that triple totem stack.
It's not the same as Veil, as you've got such an important position that you need to protect, but you've got a lot more space, so you can put those totems down, get that overstack going, and he's shown how strong he is at doing that.
30 seconds in, and Cooler doing hashtag Cooler things here.
He likes that spot. He's got some important kills this tournament from there.
Here's a Mega being taken. So I'm going to transition over towards Heavy. Still missing on LG, and is actually looking very, very weak in terms of weaponry here, because now he's going to be denied Rail as well.
Does rapha know how weak on weaponry is? I think he might assume that he at least has a rail.
Yeah, right, because he came from that position, so he would think, all right, he's probably going to have rail, but little does he know.
If he's not firing it, though, he's like, okay, he's not even challenging me for rail angles. He might say, okay, he doesn't have too many weapons. But then again, how can he approach as close?
And again, you see Cooler trying to use the Death Knight towards his advantage, trying to force Rapha into him, but that Mega is going to actually push in off the back of that. 17 health left, though. Even with Mega picked up, 17 HP. That's how close that was for Cooler.
It felt like it was a bit Kilson versus Cooler just then, just jumping. It's like, I want to get the frag first. I'm going to try my luck on this and see what I can do. And that entry damage with the lightning gun, I mean, that was the difference at the end of the day.
Oh, that Tribal has some good connections. He's going to follow up as well. You can see him really sticking around. He's going to actually push Cooler straight off the Mega, and he should be able to force him back towards Heavy as well. I don't know how Cooler's going to challenge this one, especially with the low HP, and I can tell you he's not going to challenge this one. Goes to the teleporter instead, and rapha has the opportunity to go for the rocket jump up. He's going to spot him out over towards LG, going to go for the push. Knows how low he is.
Oh my god.
And there's the second one, but again, 14 HP left.
Cooler did so much damage. I don't know how he managed that. That was absolutely nuts. He's going to have the Galena. He's going to want to make an attack relatively soon. Tribal and rockets are all the weapons that he has. There's the Mega Health. One rocket, really good. He gets the mutual frag, but he could not afford to lose that champion. We are 2 for 2. There is championship point right now for Rapha.
If you're that hop back, he jumps in to fake and to feint. He's gonna go towards Mega, jumps backwards instead. He gets a clean angle with the shot. That has to be so frustrating. Yeah, he did die in the end, but still, that little bit of footwork was fancy as hell out of Rapha.
Cooler's back against the wall. So I guess a Spawn allowing him to pick up the heavy armor first. We'll be happy with a lightning gun and a rail and Cooler. Is he going to work his way towards the lightning gun? He is. Rapha lets him go. Doesn't hold the angle too long.
Most importantly, Cooler does have the unholy trinity of weapons. Most importantly, when he was limited just to the rockets and the machine gun in the round prior with his first pick, there's been a lot more emphasis on this direction.
I wonder if Rapha's going to take another jab at going in for an aggressive flame strike move. He knows he has to hit it. He's been incredibly accurate, consistent at landing damage, but it's about getting a small amount of entry damage in itself. If he can hit a rail, Cooler's going to have to know that that's a possibility. And we saw how Rapha ended the series versus Sirius. It's an insane multi-rail shot, so he's not afraid to make moves like that.
Yeah, I asked him, like, why'd you go for that? And he's like, I was just feeling it. I was just feeling the moment. And people, again, to reiterate, people forget how damn accurate Rapha can be. Like, they always talk about his mind, but they forget about his hand and how good he is. And you can see right there why he's so good.
Rail. It's not going to push in. He's got a stack advantage for the time being. Is it enough to warrant pushing? The flame strike is still a threat from Cooler. I like that they're sort of picking at each other at the moment.
The thing is, no matter what stack you're at, you always can never underestimate how much damage the flame strike does, and that's why Rapha, I think he gives so much respect, not only that, but the dire worm, and both of them actually get some great connections, and Cooler, he survives on 5 health.
That was absolutely insane, those rockets. How he delivered on that. We're going to have an orb straight back up. Cooler's still got health. He's going for the vertical LG and manages to pick up the frag regardless. How is this guy clutching it so hard? He looked like a fish out of water when he was in the Mega Room, and I don't even know how he did that above rail.
I'm telling you, man, his rockets are solid, and he's proven right here for all of us at home and for us here in the studio. But now he's 1 frag away from taking us to our 5th and final map in this grand final here. $50,000 on the line, $25,000 for first place, and a lonely 10 for second. It's a big difference in change.
Great entry rocket, the second as well. There's going to be another. Flame strike comes out. He looks for a direct. Hits a bit of damage, but Rapha is coming back into this round. Cooler is not home safe into a map 5 yet. Look at that. The blood cut on the talk map could be a great tiebreaker. However, Rapha's got other plans.
Oh, he doesn't see him. She just rounds that corner, doesn't actually see Cooler. Tucked away towards that light armor. Either way, oh, now he's going to know with that totem being destroyed.
Oh no, he's committed too much. He wanted to get the heavy and then orb right out of it, but it didn't work. Cooler's got just one champion
he's
left.
going to catch him.
This could be it. It could be all over at the moment. There's a totem there to help him out. He goes out with the pummel, but Rapha's going to do it. He'll take the PGL Quake Champions Open.
And Rapha's got to be happy about that too, Zoot. He's only had a top 4 placing in the entirety of Quake Champions when it's come to duel, and now he's got his first title under his belt, and more importantly, 3 titles in this year. No one can deny it's the year of Rapha, as he's going to lift the fantastic trophy, and he has to be so happy about it.
He must be buzzing, I think. best player in the world right now. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, again, like he grinds so hard, and in general, he's a shining star within the community. The time he takes to give back to the community by ending a stream by doing 20 minutes of AMAs, streaming his scrims so people can learn how to play better. He puts in the work. Everyone's thankful for it. And now, to get that victory under his belt, he has to feel so good.
That's got to be a relief. The time he's put into it this weekend, the games that he's had to go through in order to get the victory, you can see that relief. You can see it just falling off of his shoulders. And we can welcome back as well our lovely Jahar over here.
He's getting emotional here too, you can see.
Matchups, intense maps. We didn't quite go to the full 5, but as I was very happy to note, it wasn't a clean sweep either.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, it was 4 maps, but it was all 3-0s.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it wasn't a 3-0 on the last one. That was my bad. Cooler did take a round back. I miswrote that down.
It was 3-2 down at
yeah,
the end.
3-2.
I mean, Cooler, he was 2 champions up at the end.
Yeah.
Threw it away, some crazy aggressive moves. And, you know, he was getting away with murder with some of the frags that he had. Here's the stats over here for Ruins of Sarnath.
And as far as accuracy goes, I mean, it's right up there. We've been looking at consistent LG and rails all day, but here things look a little bit low just because, like, the amount of spam, prediction shots, paranoia shots, just making sure he might not be there shots have really been the story of Cooler and Rapha.
And look at the damage difference as well. 100 between the two, like 158. Like, that's insane considering how one-sided some of these rounds really were. Like, Cooler did a lot of work, and every time Rapha did get those kills, it's not like he got them cleanly. He got it with like 13 HP remaining constantly. He was always having to work for every single frag that he picked up.
No, it was back and forth, and he must have felt like, I have to shut this down now on Ruins. I can't believe how the way in which he won that final round was absolutely unbelievable.
You could see the moment, though. Like, the moment he knew he won the grand finals was that final chase from J-Spot. He knew with the LG, he's like, I got this. Like, this is my victory to win.
Out from Cooler
exactly.
As well.
Cooler conceded. He knew it was over.
So Cooler gave away that frag at the heavy, and then the spawn, he just played the spawn. It's like, I know there's a likelihood that he can spawn on this side. I have to punish. I can take the victory right now if I do this right.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been such a fantastic tournament. It's really the first opportunity where we can really have everybody under one roof. We've had LAN tournaments for Quake Champions Duel before, but this is the first time we can really say, hey, there's nobody really missing. There's no really asterisks added to you know, why somebody won over somebody else. And of course, going up against Cooler, who 2-0'd him earlier in the weekend, who 2-0'd him last year. This has got to feel amazing.
And this is like not a tournament with, you know, like being the U.S. and we couldn't have some people participate. This was the most stacked tournament in existence in Quake Champions, and there's no denying that Rapha is the best dueler in the world now.
Absolutely. And, I mean, every single one of these matches was so intense, but we saw that edge of respect from both of these players. We didn't see just DK v DK rushing each other too much, you know, Veil of Nath notwithstanding.
And with all these replays that we got as well, we can see the amount of clutch shots that we had to deal with. This is possibly the only map that I will forget, but it was exemplary. It was absolutely exemplary.
I mean, just really quickly, want to obviously give a shout out to Cooler. I know Rapha won the whole thing, but Cooler, like the grind he's put in, the time he's put into this game, and for him to get second place now, you know, to kind of have some sort of relief in, you know, some sort of, you know, gratification in that time put in is really good to see, and I hope to continue to see him grinding away like this.
I'm sure he'll still be plugging away to get at some point a first spot for himself.
He's going to be home streaming for like 10 hours tomorrow. Like, he's not going to take a single day off, I bet.
Well, you're absolutely right there, Jason. I mean, the fact that the final came down to these two who have been, you know, Quake legends in their own right in previous titles and previous years for quite a long time, actually, and in Quake Champions not quite getting to that point where you reach that level you really want to see. But now we saw the final, and now we get to see Rapha actually take away the trophy. And what a trophy it is, really.
Yeah, and you saw the emotional moment it was for him, too. Like, he was sitting there, and he had to take a second. We saw, as you said, the sigh of relief come in. We saw the realization that he won the tournament.
But like you said, he realized that before the last frag happened.
Yeah. Well, he realized that he won, but then actually to be standing there with the trophy after kissing it, like, I thought he was almost in tears, actually.
What was on the trophy? I mean, after he kissed it, I mean, is it spicy or something?
Well, maybe is it made of chocolate? Who knows? We'll have to ask him.
But of course, it all came down to Ruins of Sarnath. So many fights down in the heavy armor room. And yeah, I mean, we were expecting that to go to a 5th map almost.
And it's just closing out of this frag over here. There's a small error made from Cooler, and absolutely he's so stacked. He capitalizes by finding him off the spawn, just as we mentioned. And you can see Cooler's like, I've got nowhere to go. There is nothing I can